Good morning. It seems like President uh, um, Trump. It's hard to say those two words because his action so far has not been that of somebody that's trying to um, build bridges. Um, with his new administration, like especially with the Muslims ban. And I almost had every city that they said, like in another video. I knew that was gonna happen because the one thing that a lot of citizens around the world that has been you know grown up in this type of war type of mentalities with the Trumps of the world is that we know that war is futile. Nobody wins in war. The citizens don't win, and the children lose big time. They lose by having an unstable environment. Like education stops for them because schools get blown up. Um, and I'm so proud to see the Americans that gathered at airports. I didn't know there was one in Memphis. There was a few people. I personally, um, you know, have a hard way of getting around with the transportation here. They've been fighting their customers too, and they won. So I don't know what their problem was, but that and not the results they wanted. I think that okay, Trump won. He's not getting the results he wanted because he never did represent the majority of the people. He never represented anybody really. His views. eh, I think that he was up there on stage and was allowed to be a babbling, narcissistic, a bigot, hypocrite, racist. Um, and he never had any real substance. He never had like and like they're saying, oh well, he's doing like Obama. Obama signed all those executive orders. Well, Obama basically was a constitutional lawyer, or he taught it in the university. I think he had enough education that he could have been a constitutional lawyer. So opposed to Trump, who obviously is allergic to reading at least the Constitution or his cronies, the vice president is planning on him getting killed or getting impeached so he could be president. He can't figure out no better way to become president his damn self. And his ideas is just as poison as Trump's. You know, uh, um, their actions is not that are benefiting the United States at all. They're Muslims, bad, which is unconstitutional because if white people came over here, that was the reason why they came over here from London, from Spain, and all that religious persecution. They for religious freedom. Excuse me. Uh, um, uh, um, you know, so and and uh, so we're backstepping. He's just shitting all over the Constitution, him and his buddies, and there's a lot of Americans that do not comprehend what's really going on. I think they intentionally have white people thinking that history is different than what it is. I mean, if you look like what do they show you like over and over on History Channel? They're only showing about Hitler. Well, unless we want to have war on this land, have another stock market crash, and um, which that might be what the Republicans are planning on doing. You heard Trump's inauguration speech. It was that he painted America as like looking like Syria bombed out, and All I can say is Trump should have went to the debriefing. Yeah, maybe it would have contradict what the vice president and some of the Republicans' ideas are, but maybe they don't have ideas that are and maybe they just some closed, narrow-minded racists, and they don't have the big picture. Because like to be racist, it means that you really have to be sort of narrow-minded. You have to not be able to empathize or either comprehend or either have the intelligence to understand that your actions, that if they're negative, negative actions get negative actions. If you get a bunch of negative pushback, it doesn't mean, oh, well, we're just digging deeper into being unconstitutional. And their goal thing is going to be, Obama did that. Well, Obama was married to a black woman. He was a black man, right? And if you're missing those two things right there, I mean, like if you know what I'm saying, like Trump, he can't say that he was born anything like Obama. He was not born on a tropical island, some place like in like Queens. Come on now, um, but and then to find out that his behavior towards women, you know, is that of he must have learned that from his father. His father probably just like what he did, just married somebody that so he could have somebody to show off. You know, there's no love there. I mean, Trump's idea of loving somebody is just a matter is how much everybody's like looking at him to be great. I think that he's very surprised that he's not popular, even though he did not get the popular vote. And we see what they're concentrating on right now, and we see where their goals are, even though they can't really articulate, and that lets you know how ill prepared they are. If they cannot sit down and in a news briefing, or somewhere an idea of what they're up to. What 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 laws are you trying to uh, enforce with the Muslim? What is your point with the Muslims? What is your point with those countries? What is your solution for people that are stuck with their green card at different airports all over the world that live in the United States that are from those countries, but now or business people or they have family and they've just been living here for the last 20, maybe 40 years. What was your plan for that? You didn't have a plan. You have no plans. It's just like you build your wall. You have no plan for what to do before, during, or after. You have no cohesion. You should have a beginning, a middle, and end. It's your plans, your illustrations, your new laws should read like a book. Should read like there should be a beginning, a reason, a how, what, where, why, and when. They're very simple. So all you gotta do is have a few things. When you're doing these, when you're thinking, why am I doing this? How's it gonna affect the people, the citizens, the community? Where can I find this information in the Constitution? Am I violating Constitution? How can I, going back to the how can I implement, how can I put this into plan with the least amount of damage, harm, I heard, but see, racist people don't care about the least amount of harm or damage. That they get a special, narcissistic people get a special, like bubbling up, warm, tingling feeling in the middle of their um, sexual argument. To see somebody, but they cannot take it. And you're dealing with people in society that has to take it, and we got to dish it out too. So compared to you that's just been dishing it out, and can't take it. And I see that with all the Republicans, with that Pence guy. The reality is that white America was never welcome on America's land. What they brought was death, destruction, extinct a lot of our animals. Totally never have them anymore. Disease in the way of and Trump's going to get a court now for raping a 13-year-old virgin, but the raping of children, the church of trafficking of children. With the denial and of reality, we're now allowing look, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm just saying, just because I'm telling the reality and what really happened doesn't mean that, oh, I hate you because you did a horrible, disgusting, inhumane thing. You know what I'm saying? And now if that was your ancestors, saying, but they haven't did any, you know what I'm saying? They want to go back and do the same disgusting, horrible behavior. That caused us to have war on this land, a civil war. I don't know, how far back their mind go, but, there was more than 5 people in our histories back then. That's about the only thing you learn about, with the Civil War, about 5 people. We don't have a good history. And the reason why, we're not teaching history correctly in school, we're not teaching science in school, we end up with people like Trump. That's our new America, people like Trump. Do we want people like Trump who just got passed, because their daddy got money? Anyway, all he had to do was just do his homework, listen to the debriefing, because he still had presidents that are alive that was been there before him. That, you know what I'm saying? He had a lot of choices, but he didn't choose none of that. And and I don't think that the Republicans were going to go and say, hey, you know what? Maybe the way we're thinking or the way we're doing things is not only violating our Constitution, but the American citizens. It doesn't matter if it's Trump won or not, if he's supposed to be the president for the people. And right now, he's a president for all corporations. He's a president for pollution. He's a president for chaos. He's the president of hate, and bigotry, racism, and everything else that really the majority of the people find very distasteful, and they reject you and they rebuke you, and your cronies. So anyway, your Pence vice president's pretty smart because he's gonna get your ass impeached within the first 60 fucking days.